Right now, what we need to be talking about when we're talking about Black women is the over 650,000 that have been removed from the workforce, fired, let go, released, okay? So instead of another panel engaging Stephen A. Smith, allowing him to take up airspace, how about we ask, how are we helping Black women to get back to work? How are we helping Black women start their own businesses? How are we investing in Black women?
Stephen A. Smith, sports analyst and political commentator. Smith has established a recurring public pattern of disparaging commentary directed at prominent Black women across politics, sports, and media. Such commentary reinforces harmful narratives, undermines the fair and respectful representation of Black women in public discourse, and stands in direct conflict with NABJ's long-standing commitment to accurate, responsible, and inclusive portrayals of Black communities.
Who owns media, who controls newsrooms, which journalists and beats receive investment, and which reporters can work without political or corporate interference, shape what stories get told, whose experiences matter, and whether journalism can hold powerful institutions accountable.
We're oppressed for so many years through these people's schools, and you have worn your sensible heels, and you have stretched your hair out, straightening it to be in these people's journalism rooms, and then you roll over and you see a bitch in a bonnet in a bed, and you say, well, what the hell is this? And I want to say that, so I get that, because I remember cussing somebody out to the floor 2 years ago. It was my ex, he called me a content creator. I went to Georgetown.
Eliminating journalists and subject matter expertise weakens journalism's ability to serve the public and hold power accountable.
Okay, NABJ just gave him a thumbs down award for a documented pattern of disparaging commentary towards Black women. His response? Attack the organization, not address the feedback, attack the messenger. He assumed his community would just lay down and take it.
Saturday night, I saw the president of the organization, Erin Haynes, go up on stage and give me a thumbs down award for disparaging Black women.
The theme of this week has been our revolution, truth, power, and Black journalism. We cannot spend an entire week talking about truth and power and then become timid when it is time to tell the truth to power.
You sit down with Sean Hannity. Stephen A. Smith, you said that you were just critiquing these Democrat women. Sean Hannity is calling these women deranged and crazy. You sitting down with them connects you to their brand, their perception, and their language around these Black women. And that's why your Black ass got that thumbs down. That is why your Negro ass got that boo.
Black people with platforms, people with credibility, some who've walked similar paths in media as him. They looked at his work and they said, we see the pattern and we're calling it out. And the fact that they're now applauding NABJ for giving him that award, that's very telling.
I think they're talking specifically about his criticism of Jasmine Crockett. Now, the thing I would be curious about, and I'd love to ask the NABJ this, is did you provide any evidence? I mean, you're a journalist. Do you have quotes? Like, show me a specific quote. Did Stephen A. call Jasmine Crockett some derogatory name? Did he say, oh, you old raggedy Black women, don't you dare open your mouth around me? Like, what did he say? I'd like to know, right?
Press freedom does not erode by accident. Editorial standards do not bend themselves. People make decisions. Executives make decisions. Government officials make decisions. Companies make decisions.
What a few board members decided to do, no doubt egged on by a couple of people on the board who will remain nameless but put their names up. You can see the names there for yourself. Figure it out. Along with some others. The reality is that it was a personal hit job.
So yeah, the places you chose to discuss this further entrench the reason why you deserve that thumbs down.
And if you really wanted to talk, you really wanted to unpack this, you would have accepted President Haynes' offer to have that conversation one-on-one. Because then you could have gotten the answers you wanted. You could have gone back to your audience and said, this is what I was told, this is what was shared with me, so on and so forth. It wouldn't have been off the record. But you wanted to put that black woman on your platform. You wanted to lambast her. You wanted to monetize it. And you wanted to continue to act like a victim.
Here's the problem, here's the perception issue that you have. There is the perception that that many of our black organizations are owned and controlled by the Democratic Party. Let me explain it like this. If Stephen A. had been criticizing a black Republican, would the reaction have been the same?
The conversation is available and the opportunity to change is real. But NABJ will not be silent. Not in this moment and not on my watch.
This is a journalism organization that didn't engage in journalism when it came to critiquing me. Disparaging black women is a very incendiary thing to say. If you felt that adamant about it, President Haynes, how come I never got a call?
None of this is by accident, and you're associating yourself with people who have historically invested in the destruction, the degradation of black people, specifically black women. Yeah, you're sitting across from a person who's not even a fucking journalist.
Can you show me specific quotes where Stephen A. was saying terrible things about black women?
How come I never got a call? How come the NABJ never reached out to me to have a conversation? And you would go on stage, Ms. Haynes, and accuse me of disparaging black women.
There can be no revolution without accountability. There can be no accountability without courage. And there can be no black journalism that is worthy of its history if we are afraid to speak truth to power.
Or are you saying this because your Democratic Party masters told you, go get that Negro? This Negro, he ain't following the party line, so y'all got to go get him. Because at the end of the day, man, black people should be making their own decisions.
Ms. Haynes, and accuse me of disparaging black women with no evidence, just your feelings. This is shameful.
Let's see that in an instant replay.
I didn't put my hand on my motherfucking nose. Don't say shit to him. None of that shit. Miss, I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. You stay here big talking. No, ma'am. You stay here big talking. I heard your ass. I told your son. I sniped the fuck out you. Go ahead, I sniped the fuck out you. That make you feel happy? Don't fucking put your hands on my foot. Don't say shit to him. No, none of that. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Okay, I don't give a fuck. I'm sorry, Mr. I don't give a fuck. Okay, thank you. What the fuck is wrong with you?
The premise that Sean Hannity has laid out of, oh, well, you're just being critiqued because you had the nerve to attack black people. First of all, yeah, nigga, in this time, the least you can do is show some kindness to black folks. You goddamn Skippy.
Stephen A. Smith, take the thumbs down that the NABJ gave you and move on. Right now, you need to accept the fact that black journalists, black women are not buying what you were selling.
You lost your motherfucking mind.
No, ma'am. I didn't touch your son.
I asked you. I don't give a shut the fuck up talking to me. Okay, you done did way too motherfucking much. Yeah, have the same fucking energy you had before I got the fuck up here. Is you fucking cool?
Yes, ma'am.
Right now, what we need to be talking about when we're talking about black women is the over 650,000 that have been removed from the workforce, fired, let go, released, okay? Because we are getting hammered right now. So instead of another panel engaging Stephen A. Smith, allowing him to take up airspace, how about we ask, how are we helping black women to get back to work? How are we help black women start their own businesses? How are we investing in black women? Okay. Where are the companies that are opening the doors and saying, come on in. You are educated. We are willing to train. We need your expertise. That's where we need to focus our energy on, because every minute we spend talking about this goon, Stephen A. Smith, we are taking away a minute to talk about black women who actually need our support and our voices.
I am having this conversation with y'all, ladies and gentlemen, because of one thing and one thing only. I have been accused of disparaging black women. Where? Where? I can't disagree. I can't question. Oh, it's how you sound. Oh, it's your tone. Really?
I'm an author. You know that I'm a brother that writes. I'm a scholar and what have you. I wrote about Death in Jail, Black Anti-Blackness, and the Demonic Imagination. And in that book, the very, very last chapter in that book, it is called Shut and Dribble. Black men are told to be quiet. Black men are told to be silent. Black men are told to engage in censorship. That is, you are not supposed to have a perspective. You are not supposed to have any type of opinion. You're not supposed to have any type of perspective on anything that happens in Black America, especially if it is critical of the Gynocracy.
In his conclusion, Shut Up and Dribble, Dr. Neil writes, Ingram famously stated that LeBron James should just quote-unquote shut up and dribble. Laura Ingram vocalized a strong consensus within conservative media outlets and among elite sports journalists and corporate media regarding the separation between politics and professional athletics. In this view, professional athletes such as LeBron James should not use their celebrity to make political statements, especially as it relates to matters of race and overall anti-blackness in America. In their view, professional athletes should stay in their lane and confine their energies exclusively to the terrain of sports. He later continues, what the media personality Laura Ingram said to NBA superstar LeBron James spoke volumes not only about the disdain towards political dissent in relation to black professional athletes, but it also speaks to a larger consensus regarding the political voices of black men writ large. This disdain, which exists in the world of sports, also lives in the world of academia, where an unspoken rule exists that demands quietism among black men who are scholars in the humanities and social sciences. Men who are scholars in the humanities and social sciences are subject to censure in relation to postmodernism and identity politics, which are standard in these arenas. When it comes to black men who are scholars, there's an unspoken rule that the normativity of postmodernism and identity politics in the humanities and social sciences is above scrutiny and interrogation, that their necessity in the everyday world is universal among all of the social problems, especially anti-black racism in the United States.
Let me tell you what gets me annoyed. And I hope Jasmine Crockett is listening to this. By the way, she's welcome on the show. When you go on national television and you calling the president of the United States out of his name, and you're being all disrespectful.
They understand that we have a Timu Hitler in the White House right now.
As a representative in this country, do you believe the citizens of Texas sent you there to do that?
Y'all know we got Governor Hot Wheels down there. Come on now. And the only thing hot about him is that he is a hot-ass mess.
They don't like him either. I'm talking about those who voted for her in all likelihood. But because he is who he is and he is in that position, they expect you to go to Capitol Hill and figure out a way to maneuver yourself through that terrain.
Ms. Crockett.
I'm just curious, just to better understand your ruling, if someone on this committee then starts talking about somebody's bleach blonde, bad built butch body, that would not be engaging in personalities, correct?
A what now?
To work in a fashion that's going to facilitate getting things done on behalf of your constituents. That's your job. That's your job.
I think they're talking specifically about his criticism of Jasmine Crockett. Now, the thing I would be curious about, and I'd love to ask the NABJ this, is did you provide any evidence?
Shut up and dribble. And what is that? Black men are told to be quiet. Black men are told to be silent. Black men are told to engage in censorship. That is, you are not supposed to have a perspective. You are not supposed to have any type of opinion. You're not supposed to have any type of perspective on anything that happens in Black America, especially if it is critical of the Gynocracy. Stephen A. Smith is Exhibit A. Exhibit A. Exhibit A. Exhibit A of everything that I've talked about, everything that I see in terms of the ongoing demand. And this is a demand, it's a demand that you see in the larger culture. It's a part of white American culture, the ruling class culture. It is historical. There has been an ongoing aggressive effort to censor black men, to censor the voices of black men, to censor the ideas of black men. There is this belief that it is the job of a black man and black men writ at large to shut their mouths.
Of course, salute to Dr. Neil. I highly recommend that you get his book Beyond Death in Jail because it's a fantastic book. But what he's speaking about is something that we experience on a pretty regular basis, and it's almost to the point where it's become second nature. When certain black men have opinions that don't curry favor with the consensus in the black community, that person is seen as misogynist, toxic, that person is out of line, and essentially the dogs get called on said person to get them put back into line. Because how dare you criticize the fact that a junior representative is calling the governor of her state Hot Wheels, or that she's calling someone that's the president Timu anything. If your job is to go to Washington and make deals with said people, or the Capitol in Texas for the same reason, then name calling is not really going to get the job done. Now, a black man saying that, of course, is toxic, and he gets the thumbs down, and you get the dogs unleashed on Stephen A. Smith. But the simple question is, did he besmirch her character? Did he say something negative about her that was a personal attack? Or was he just being a free American that has the ability to, has his opinion about whatever's going on in politics, and he's just voicing it? And the truth of the matter is, that's all he was doing. But we live by a different rule in the black community. And what is the rule of the black community? Either you are an outcast, or you get in line with the people that are allowed to have the consensus view of the black community's political views.
The loudest people in America in terms of what is happening in the United States right now are not black men. They're not black male youth. The loudest people in American politics in the United States, the loudest people, those who are vociferously, particularly against the current administration, are black American women. Black American women who hold political office, black American women who are activists, black American women who are professionals, black American women of all stripes who are fervently and ardently committed to the politics of the Democratic Party, a Democratic Party which has elevated them, a Democratic Party which has fetishized them, a Democratic Party which has told them that they are goddesses, that they are infallible, that they cannot be questioned, that they are saviors. This Democratic Party who has elevated Jasmine Crockett, who has elevated Stacey Abrams, who has elevated Kamala Harris, which worships at the altar of Michelle Obama. This Democratic Party, you see all the journalists, Jamil Hill, you see Kerry Champion, you see all of them on CNN or MSNBC, Simone Sanders, all of them who carry water for this party, and they fervently believe that somehow or another that this party has the best interests of black Americans at heart, and more than that, that this party cannot live without black American women, and that black American women are the vanguards. They are the saviors of America.
You can hear the brilliance of Dr. Ronald Neil not only in this stream, but in his book or his variety of publishings, where he's essentially saying that in the black community, the consensus is that you vote Democrat, and if you don't vote Democrat as a black person, then you are somehow betraying the black community. But if you're trying to have a level-headed discussion about give and take in the political process, you have to be willing to bluff or to say, I'm willing to walk away from the table if I don't like the deal. And if you never do that, then essentially you're not really going to get offered anything tangible, because one of the political parties already understands that it has your vote. And then inside of the black community, any conversation that's basically black men aren't voting 100% for one party, it just equals being a traitor. And the problem with all of this is that maybe you could call it interesting, you call it dubious or whatever, but one party, at least in the last couple of years, have offered certain things to one half of the black community consistently, or at least elevating certain people. And so if black men on the other side of that are saying, okay, what are you going to offer black men? And you're told, shut up, do as you're told, you're supposed to vote for the good guys, otherwise you're a traitor, then that's not a political process for black men. And you're getting a different response, not just from black men because of not liking that deal, but also because times are changing and those deals aren't the same anymore. The times where we had the opportunity to barter as a collective black community are quickly ending. And in this new environment, the shifting winds have caused panic.
So Stephen A. Smith is the target. This is a political hit job. This is an attempt to censor him because they are fearful of his influence. He is a successful black man. You see, the Gynocracy, in terms of this person here, Aaron Haynes, and the people associated with the NABJ, they understand that they have to go after someone who is at a high level, a high plateau.
On his show today, Stephen A. said, what does this have to do with journalism? I would say what this has to do with journalism is what we normalize. When commentary is repeatedly framing black women as unqualified or undeserving of authority, like that helps to normalize a way of seeing black women, right? For audiences, for newsrooms, and for this next generation of journalists who are watching these platforms and learning what journalism is supposed to look like.
Someone who seemingly they can't control. And this is how they operate. They're threatened. They're fake. Their fallacious sense of power is threatened because the United States right now is in flux. Our society is in flux. No one knows what's going to happen in 2026. No one knows what's going to happen. We have these midterm elections coming up. We don't know what's going to happen. American civilization is in a state of crisis right now. It's a very unique, peculiar type of moment. And people are scared. They're scared because their livelihoods are being jeopardized.
So, journalism doesn't just report culture. Journalism is shaping culture. So when certain ways of talking about black women become routine on major media platforms, that normalizes something.
And that's one thing you need to understand. You have to understand that there are lots of people who are living under high levels of anxiety. This Gynocracy is living under high levels of anxiety.
One of the interesting tensions that I'm wrestling with is by giving Stephen A. Smith this thumbs down award. Did the committee struggle with the possibility that criticizing him publicly could actually further popularize him and give him greater visibility to the very commentary you're seeking to challenge?
This Gynocracy has enjoyed more than 50 years of an open society. I want y'all to get this. The Gynocracy has enjoyed more than 50 years of an open American society. And now that open American society is closed. It's closed now.
And you're thinking about sitting out? But, because of Pookie might be. And you're coming up with all kinds of reasons and excuses. I've got a problem with that. because part of it makes me think, and I'm speaking to men directly now, part of it makes me think that, well, you just aren't feeling the idea of having a woman as president.
They had a 50-year window. The white people gave them a 50-year window filled with opportunity, affirmative action, DEI, welfare, food stamps, Section 8, NGOs, nonprofit organizations, homeless shelters, domestic violence shelters.
The women in our lives have been getting our backs this entire time. They've been raising us and working and having our backs. And when we get in trouble and the system's not working for us, they're the ones who are out there marching and protesting.
Mutual aid, all sorts of safety nets, beyond the New Deal, beyond the welfare state.
And so now you're thinking about sitting out or even supporting somebody who has a history of denigrating you?
And you have this portion of American society that's saying that, guess what, we're not doing this anymore. Everybody has to pull themselves up by their bootstrap. This is what got them shaking in their boots right now. Because they've been spoiled by the last 50 years of an open society.
I care about what's in this contract with Black America for women, and it's not, we're not mentioned at all in the contract with Black America. And I
You are
want to know,
mentioned. I mean, when you mention Black people, you mentioning Black women. So don't count yourself out.
No,
Yes,
that's
you
not
are.
true. That's like administration say that when they
Black
mention
people is not
minorities,
Black
they
women.
mention
Black women are not included in Black people.
No,
Come on, ladies.
but that's like, you know.
And now that open society has closed, and they're struggling and they're fighting desperately.
Because you think that's a sign of strength? Because that's what being a man is? Putting women down? That's not acceptable. That's not, this shouldn't even be a question.
That's like you saying, that's like when the president says minorities, then he's including Black people. But we all know that that's not the case. Black women have specific needs that are not also being met. And we also feel that there should be some things that are specific to us and our plight as well.
And they're struggling and they're fighting desperately to maintain what was there in the open society, hoping that if it's not the Democratic Socialists of America, that it's some moderate liberal or moderate liberals who will get into power and to preserve their status in America.
This is the panel that led Dr. Ronald Neil to coin the Ice Cube effect. If you're a free-thinking Black man and you're trying to decide how you're going to vote in the election, after watching this panel, it was painfully obvious that there's not a Black community, so to speak. Black women see themselves as their own political entity, and they feel they're owed something special from the Democrat Party or whatever party they vote for. 9 times out of 10, that's the party. And if you're in the quote-unquote greater Black community, it's your job to vote in the best interest of Black women, not yourself, even if we're not pairing up in families to the extent that we would have been several generations ago. And so when Ice Cube says, I'm going to go to the other party and say, I want to get some tangibles from you guys, he's met with, well, what did you ask for specifically for Black women? He's saying, aren't we all one group? And they let him know, of course not. And so in this environment, men are looking at this and saying, I don't know what I'm supposed to be allegiant to, but it can't be this because I'm not a Black woman, I'm a Black man. And one party has not really done anything except send President Barack Obama at me and shake his finger at me and say, haven't Black women been the ones that held you down? How dare you not vote for one? Not proper policy or what we're going to do for you, or this is how we're going to earn your vote. It's this is the way you're supposed to vote. Now keep your mouth shut. And that's been political discourse for Black men for a very, very long time. And Dr. Ronald Neil is letting us know that the time for that is over. If you want black male votes, you're going to have to come to black men and offer us something. And if black men have something to say about the political process, then doggone it, Stephen A. Smith, speak on it. But no one is going to tell us that we don't have a right to tell someone that's calling their governor Hot Wheels or calling the president Timu whatever, then trying to go in front of that person, have audience, and try and extract some tangibles from that same person that they were calling names earlier, some kind of deal to be gained for her constituency. We understand that's just not going to work, especially when you're negotiating with actual men. And so here we are. It is a time where there's a $40 trillion debt. There's a war that doesn't look very good. And I think the financial markets today are going to be very interesting. And it's in this environment that black men are being told, how dare you criticize that woman? And black men are saying, that's what you're worried about in this environment? There's a shrinking tent. And black men are looking at the shrinking tent and seeing it for what it is. If you don't offer something to enlarge that tent, then there's no reason to get into the tent that's not going to win the election anyways. Increase the size of the tent and offer us something. Otherwise, leave us alone and we'll figure it out ourselves. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment below. I'll catch you next video. Take care, guys.